Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 37 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Last episode, we are taking on a case that is completely unwinnable. Lana completely confessed. There's evidence against her, there's a witness against her, and God forbid she tried to cover it up by putting the body in Edgeworth's car. Needless to say, this case does not bode well for Lana, but we're gonna have to defend her because we believe in our client, even though she's guilty as hell. But there's something wrong with this story. One thing that was pointed out by Jake Marshall in the last part, she has literally no connection with Bruce Goodman, the guy who's been murdered. But she still stabbed him. Which begged the question, what is going on? We are completely and totally in the dark here, but whatever evidence we have, we're gonna have to use that to turn the tide on this case and probably see if we can either get her off or at least get her a reduced sentence, one of the two. On that note, Phoenix is going in there with minimal ammo as humanly possible, and with Emma watching his back. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention one thing. That investigation that we did, or I said the examination that we've done throughout the entirety of day one of this investigation, this trial, is going to play a huge part in all the trials to come. Specifically, the last trial of the game, which happens to be day 4. Both of them. Yeah, it's kind of split up into a lot of parts. So on that note, we shall begin this trial. But we need to also have a witness, and normally the detective. I mean, true, a detective would be the first person to show up because they have all the information they found on their end of the crime scene. But at the end of the day, the witness testimony is what matters. So, Edgeworth is just reassuring Phoenix that despite the fact that there's a bit of camaraderie, there will be no mercy. That if there's an advantage that he can find Lana guilty, Edgeworth will jump on it at the first chance he gets. So on that note, we need to be extra careful. And more importantly, we need to pay attention to the witness that's about to come up, and pay attention to just about all the witnesses that have come up as well. Because let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't actually pay attention, that witness is going to probably lie through her teeth and cause you to be completely out of credibility. By the way, there is an HD version, it was an HD version achievement for getting all of her food bowls. Like, if Angel Starr is handing over all of her food dishes, you will get an achievement for the Xbox One and Switch version. Or PS4 too as well, because they also have the game as well. But still, on that note, the judge has been bribed with caviar. Let's see what's going on here. Maybe we'll actually get the truth. Alright. Sorry about that, folks. Just had a rough week. With everything reopening now, you'd think I'd probably be back in form. No, I'm kind of stiff and sore from all the work I had to do. So, bear with me, folks. So on that note, we're about ready for her to actually state her testimony. But it's still nothing more than an argument right now. Well, albeit a very long argument, but an argument right then and there. Oh, and for the record, the argument in question is whether or not she's a legit law enforcement law enforcement officer, sorry. And yes, she is a law enforcement, well, she was a law enforcement officer until 2 years ago. However, she made a citizen's arrest on Lana after she witnessed a murder. So, yeah, the reason why she's called Cough-Up Queen is because of the fact that she makes anyone she's interrogating cough up the facts as soon as humanly possible. In other words, she is a really good torturer. Or, I said interrogator. Sorry. They don't really necessarily use torture. That's Persona 5 I'm thinking of, but still. On that note, we still haven't gotten to the witness testimony yet. Oh wait, actually I think we did. Wait, no we didn't. No we didn't. We still haven't gotten to the witness testimony yet. But those floor plans is going to come in handy. So on that note, make sure you take good time before you even proceed through the case to read through the floor plans, because they're going to come in really huge handy later on in the game. So on that note, we just need to wait, but while I'm waiting, I'll be right back. Alright, it's time for Angel's witness account. The thing that you need to understand from this trial forward, by the way, the first sentence she did, you're going to make sure you press that, and the second one too. As I was saying, from this point on, you want to make sure that you pay attention to everything that's being said, because guess what? You are dealing with cops, and you'll get at best 2 penalties towards your credibility, and at worst an automatic game over. So from this point onward, bear in mind, pay attention to what is said, and press when you need to press, and present when you need to present, and don't screw up, because if you do, I mean, the worst you could get is a penalty, but the best you could probably... No. Okay, the best you could get is a penalty. The worst, like I said, would be an automatic game over. So the first statement, press it. Because this right here is her just once again showing her bias towards prosecutors. And there's not much else that could be said. And quite frankly, she's also attributing the fact of the prosecutor's reputation by also mentioning that Goodman had been killed because he probably knew too much. However, she was fired from her job. So therefore, she's now the lunch lady that is serving breakfast as a result, because she practically needed some money. And it's the only way that she can actually go throughout the entirety of the police station untouched. Speaking of making money, or should I say her boyfriends, press the second statement. Of course, she is basically talking about her customers and the men in her life that she actually manipulates to help her out. And needless to say, she uses her good looks to actually manipulate the situation most of the time. Something that is brought up, though, she actually parks in the B block and the murder took place in the A block. So we need to actually find out exactly what's going on. On that note, you would actually have to press the fourth statement. And unfortunately, Coffin of Queen is actually taking shots at Edgeworth, since Edgeworth's knife and Edgeworth's car was used in the murder. So on that note, you would actually have to think that she'd be credible. But there is a hole in her statement. And we actually do have proof too. Well, unfortunately, you're gonna be thrown with the conjecture line. So, now comes the next part. Exposing this fraud. She's not really a fraud, but rather she is lying. And it's plain as day. I mean, not too much of a telltale liar like, April May, but she's still a liar. And here's your first evidence to use against her. That, crime scene photo that was taken by Angel Starr, who happened to have a hidden camera hidden in one of the lunch boxes. Unfortunately, Edgeworth is the one that's shocked about this evidence because of the fact that he honestly didn't know. So on that note, the crime photo has been added. Now then, we need to actually figure out more on this case. And when it says the chief was holding the knife in the right hand, show her the truth. And the truth is, he was actually holding the knife in the opposite. Actually, she wasn't even holding the knife at all. And we ended up getting strawberry swirl ice for no reason. For no reason. So on that note, she literally wasn't holding the knife, despite the fact the lunch lady said that she did when she apprehended her. Oh man, Phoenix Wright, you are wrong for that. But you do have a point. And the point is, she really couldn't actually find the evidence needed to put Lana away. So therefore, I think she's going on an accusation. Or so you would think. We're still in part 1 of this, by the way. She also has a deep-seated grudge against Lana anyway, because Lana will end up walking off of a cliff because, oh god, excuse me one second. As I was saying, as I was rudely interrupted by the loud noise, press objection, by the way, that Angel Starr is slowly but surely falling off the cliff and walking right into Edgeworth's trap. But at the same vein, Phoenix also is falling into Edgeworth's trap. Because if you probably didn't notice the picture early on, because, well, I was discussing the fact that Angel was trying to lie her way out of the situation, the picture shows that Lana actually has blood on her jacket. Unfortunately, Angel did not have time to stop Lana, and The only thing that needs to be said is that she practically just repeatedly stabbed the corpse. And we probably need to bring up something very important. The fact that she's making surgical gloves. I mean, she's practically wearing surgical gloves. But seeing as how it is premeditated and it's looking really bad, there's one thing not taken into account before she did this murder. Now, the new statement that she put on, you're gonna be pressing something against that if I'm not mistaken. It would be the murder weapon itself. Edgeworth's knife. That's what you press against it. And like I said, she's slowly but surely walking right off the cliff and into the trap of Edgeworth. And what does Edgeworth have to do with this? Later on in this portion of the trial, you will see. I mean, maybe not this part, but next part. But he has been rather vocal, he has been objective, and has been practically double teaming the witness with Phoenix Wright, if you haven't seen. But he also still does his job as a prosecutor. So, you mentioned something. Well, he mentioned something about Lana planned the murder, and this is something that's been mentioned by Angel countless times. However, she didn't bring the murder weapon. And that's the one thing that needed to be important for it to be a murder weapon. She just happened to grab the first thing she found around Edgeworth's car, which was this knife, to pop open the trunk, and just use it to stab Bruce Goodman. So it turns out that Angel may be lying. Which, by the way, shocked Angel and made her drop her lunches. But Edgeworth's got something too. And what is that, you may ask? Something about turning facts into conjecture again by stating the fact that she took the knife. That's all that matters for her to be pretty much prosecuted for murder. So, seeing as how a detective was involved, the only thing Phoenix has proved is she did it. That's it. So now we're going to have to try to expose this woman. And more importantly, we need to actually find out what she saw and not what she thinks, because every single time she's on the witness stand, she just shows her venom against prosecutors. Again, this may lead to her downfall. And I stopped the recording there for a reason, because of the fact of Upload Studios. You probably haven't noticed, earlier on, Upload Studio had pretty much caused me to miss out on a cutscene or two. But whatever the case, the chief prosecutor having a grudge against the victim is not a pressable statement, but the last statement she had is not only a pressable statement, but I think you're supposed to present something to it. We'll get to that. But whatever the case, it's time for us to cross-examine. So, it's time for us to press, I do believe, that one. Actually, no, the last statement, yes. I think press or present. Yes, we present. we're gonna present Goodman's autopsy report. You can also present the knife too. It doesn't matter, but either way, you can present the knife or the autopsy report, and it will debunk whatever Angel Starr has to say. And like I said, Edgeworth is double-teaming the witness. So, basically speaking, the autopsy report we have pretty much shown that Bruce Goodman was stabbed fatally one time and bled out to death. All those stabs that Lana hit him with was him already being dead. Although she tries to butter up the crime scene, a meal with ketchup and rice. Put rice with ketchup? Why? Anyway, Edgeworth just pretty much stole Phoenix Wright's thunder. I hope this has become a series of alternative events, or more importantly, a reoccurring thing. So on that note, we need to actually keep finding out what's going on here. Now, with the statement she just pressed, she presented, we press it. Or should I say, present against it. That's what I meant to say. God damn it, whose playthrough am I playing here? Well, mine, but I'm flubbing up on the commentary. But Edgeworth once again steals the spotlight from Phoenix. So, I bet you're wondering, why do I hate this case so much? Real simple. Because there's a certain process you have to go through before you expose many of the characters that are on trial throughout this game. Angel is one of them, but the only thing that got her again was her hatred for prosecutors. To the point where she's literally committing perjury just so she could get one of them in jail. And she's pretty much PO'd. And that is because of the fact that we have called her out correctly of being a liar. I told you she was falling straight for Edgeworth's trap. And so was Phoenix, unfortunately. Alright. It's time for us to once again get some kernel of truth out to what happened as far as Lana is concerned, and how did she attack him? Well, it turns out she was trying to also get away because of the fact she happened to catch wind of Lana, and Lana tried to run back to her family car, but she couldn't because she was stopped and apprehended. So with that said, that sounds like a clear-cut case to me, but unfortunately there's one thing you need to realize. She's lied in the past before, and she's lying now. Alright, I do believe we're gonna have to press against something, if I'm not mistaken. I do know there's not as many, testimonies in this trial. That's another thing that needs to be set in stone. There's certain parts of this trial, the testimonies are gone. I do believe one of Angel Starr's dialogue is one of them. And eventually, like the character we meet for the next trial has some, okay, what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, some random new mechanic or whatever. Like for instance, he has a time limit. so bear that in mind. Anyway, we're going to be pressing this picture, or at least pressing the issue, and what we need to do is find out where exactly was Angel so that she could apprehend Lana so easily. I had to think about that, sorry. And I can't believe I forgot what I was talking about in the middle of a... God, I am so tired, and I'm sorry, guys. However, the thing is, she could not actually get to Lana like talking about it because she would have to climb the fence. Or would she? There is one other place she could have been throughout the entirety of the game. Or in that area, actually, so that she could catch Lana easily and apprehend her. But once again, she's showing her bias against prosecutors. And also, she caught wind of a phone call that was being attempted to be made to Emma. Something about a muffler. Now, a muffler has two meanings, and we will end up having to find out both of them. But whatever the case, we are coming to the point where we're practically about to expose Lana once again. Not Lana, I meant Angel, and by extension Lana. Well, she also claiming that her memory is terrible, that she don't remember the phone, sorry, why is it the fan? Damn it. I know it's hot out here, but damn. Anyway, the phone was out of order due to the electronics hit. However, you could still use your cell phone because there's still wires toward, still wire towers towards the area you're in, and plus it has good signal. However, you were about to go into yet another cross-examination. This time, it's gonna get a little bit more ruthless. I mean, if you can't find anything the first go around, you're gonna drop... Okay, your chances of probably finding out what Lana is saying or what's going on is going to drop. Because I do believe there are strict time limits to this case. But this particular statement where it says, "I saw it all," what you need to do, I do believe you are going to, oh yeah. You're going to have to push something towards her. But you're going to have to present something to her as soon as we're finished with the, interrogation. But I do know this. I'm going to have to end it here because Upload Studio was being a bitch when I recorded. Which means, I think the last bit of the cutscene where Phoenix Wright discovers the truth, or at least the evidence to go against her, has been cut off by Upload Studio. So, we're going to continue where we last left off in Part 38, when we finish Part 2-1. And on top of that, unravel more and more of Angel's lies as we go along. Although she is telling the truth in some parts, the rest, not so much. Again, see you guys next time.